Hey there, friends. I'm David D. This is Progressive Resistance Media. Thank you for being here. Let's get into Yang News of the Day, Episode 9, for a Tuesday, June 25th, 2019. Okay, so I'm going to confine today's episode of Why Not to Andrew Yang's Late Show appearance that happened last night. That is the Late Show with Stephen Colbert. So usually I like to mix it up a little bit, like have a few Yang items of the day and whatnot. But sometimes we're just going to focus on one item if it's that important. So this one's pretty important. So let's get into it. Okay, Stephen Colbert asked, what is the quickest version of who is Andrew Yang? Andrew Yang, well, I'm not a politician. I'm an entrepreneur and a problem solver, and I'm running for president to solve the problems that got Donald Trump elected in 2016. Primarily because our economy is automating away millions of jobs. We started with millions of manufacturing jobs in Michigan, Ohio, Wisconsin, and Pennsylvania, and now we're going to do the same thing to retail jobs, call center jobs, fast food jobs, and truck driving jobs. So I'm running for president to help advance meaningful solutions, including $1,000 a month for every American adult starting at the age of 18. So obviously Andrew Yang's referring to automation here, like all those jobs in all those states he mentioned. There was 4 million manufacturing jobs, and the data points to that's the reason why Trump won those swing states in the Rust Belt. So Andrew Yang makes that a major talking point wherever he goes. Okay, Stephen Colbert said, you said entrepreneur, what's your training? Andrew Yang said, quote, well, I went to law school and spent 5 unhappy months as a lawyer, and then I started a business that didn't work out. Then I worked at another technology company, and then became head of an education company that grew to be #1 in the U.S. and was bought by a company in 2009. End quote. I believe that's where Andrew Yang made his money and where he became successful. And he didn't get to mention Venture for America by name, but I'm pretty sure he's referring to that. But like I said, this is a short interview. He couldn't really load up all of his talking points into this interview. It's like a 7-minute interview or whatever. So he'll miss a few things. Okay, moving on. Stephen Colbert. As you said, universal basic income, you call it the freedom dividend. How does the freedom dividend work? Andrew Yang said, quote, if you can imagine where everyone in the country is getting $1,000 a month as right of citizenship, it would make our family stronger and healthier. It would create millions of jobs in our communities, improve our mental health, and decrease our stress levels. It would improve relationships, and we could very much make this happen. Thomas Paine was for this at the founding of our country, and more recently, Martin Luther King. Martin Luther King was fighting for this in 1976. He called it the guaranteed minimum income. It was what he was fighting for when he was killed in 1968, end quote. So these are good talking points. Andrew Yang references at the founding of our country, there was something similar to the freedom dividend. He referenced Martin Luther King, who had a similar vision with guaranteed minimum income. So, and he didn't mention Alaska in their dividend, but he tries to pack these into his interviews as much as possible. So I'm glad he got these in. Okay, so moving on. Stephen Colbert, where's the money come from? Very popular question. Andrew Yang, well, if you look up where all the big winners are in this economy, it's companies like Amazon, trillion-dollar tech companies that pay zero in taxes, and that's not unusual for them. And so, when you put a mechanism in place where the American people get a tiny slice of every Amazon sale, every Google search, every Uber mile, then we could pay for this $1,000 a month dividend for the American people. Okay, so obviously Andrew Yang is referencing to the VAT, the value added tax there. He didn't get to mention the VAT. He didn't get into the VAT. Once again, it's a very short interview. But he's referencing the value added tax there. Okay, Stephen Colbert. Now, you started a pilot program by giving $1,000 a month to 2 families in Iowa and New Hampshire. How are they using it so far? Andrew Yang, quote, they are using it on exactly what you expect. Their daughter's college loans, unexpected car repairs, bills, loans, medical payments, and it's going so well that I actually have an announcement tonight. And Andrew Yang has been building up this announcement the last few days. I'm going to be giving away another $1,000 a month to an American family. And all you have to do is retweet the tweet that's going to go out concurrent with this episode and follow me, and I will give away $1,000 a month to an American family on the 4th of July, Independence Day, because it's all about making us freer, end quote. So that's cool. Andrew Yang is already supporting two families, one in Iowa and one in New Hampshire. And he's having a contest. All you have to do is sign up on Twitter, follow, and retweet. And then everyone who retweets, he'll have a drawing, and that person will be the winner of $1,000 a month. So, cool. I retweeted. Are you retweeting? I'd retweet. Why not? All right. But I like that. It's on Independence Day. It's okay. It's good gimmicky. Because it's all about making us freer. So, I like that. Okay, let's see. Stephen Colbert. Now, you're in the debates this Thursday. What does a win look like for Andrew Yang? Andrew Yang said, quote, most Americans are just tuning into the 2020 race right now, and Americans are just finding out about me and the other candidates. A win for me is Americans who tune in and say, who is the Asian man next to Joe Biden? And they look me up and they say, wow, this makes sense. We can build a trickle-up economy, and we don't have much of a choice because AI technology is just around the corner. And if we don't make big moves now, this country is going to go through even tougher times than it is right now, end quote. Yeah, I like that about the who is the Asian man standing next to Joe Biden. That should work. That's like silly, but it should work. Okay, moving on. Stephen Colbert. Are talk show hosts in danger from losing their jobs from all of that? That's cute. Andrew Yang. They actually have a virtual news show host, but not one that does comedy. It's kind of fun. Okay, now we get to the lightning round. This is the end of the interview where Stephen Colbert does a lightning round about Andrew Yang's policies, and let's see what they have to say. Okay, Stephen Colbert. You are in favor of empowering MMA fighters. Andrew Yang. Quote, yes, mixed martial arts fighters are getting paid only 10% of MMA's revenue, and major sports athletes are getting 50%. So they are getting exploited. That's cool. I didn't even know that. And I follow Yang. I haven't heard that yet. So that's cool. Okay, lightning round continues. Free marriage counseling. Andrew Yang. Yes, I am happily married, and I want everyone to share in that. But the data shows that if you have couples that stay together, the outcomes are more positive for children, so it just makes sense. Okay, so Andrew Yang is for free marriage counseling for all. Basically a universal program. Okay, let's see. You're in favor of a White House psychologist. I love this. This is probably one of my favorites. Andrew Yang. Yes, and I thought it was a good idea before our current president. It totally is a great idea. When you have people making such high-pressured decisions, you're going to suffer mentally. You're going to have a lot of stress-induced problems. It seems very normal to have a psychologist in that atmosphere where you're under all these high-stress decision making. It's just ridiculous to not have a psychologist there. But I like that about Andrew Yang. He comes up with these ideas that are just like, oh, why didn't we think of that? Okay, and finally, you're in favor of abolishing the penny? And Andrew Yang said, we spend more than a penny on each penny, end quote. It's wasteful. So, and we have to dig for the copper, so it's like we have to get resources to make the penny, and it costs more than producing the penny. So it's like, why are we still doing this? And finally, there was something about circumcision. Andrew Yang said in a tweet he was for circumcision, or not for some circumcision, but for parents to have some, information about circumcision when it comes to their kids. And he said, I think parents should be more informed and do what they think is best for their kids. And this led to a big interview with Ben Shapiro, I think. And it was really just a tweet he sent out, but it got really controversial. But yeah, he's against circumcision. and he wants to raise awareness about that at some level. So that was the whole interview. One thing I noticed when Andrew came out and Stephen, saw him, met him, there was some tension there. When you first start watching the video, you notice a little bit of tension. It's very subtle. It's not obvious. It's very subtle. It's underneath. And it goes back to Stephen Colbert talking crap about Andrew Yang, how he's a nobody, and he made fun of him. And like I said, I did a video about this, and all of us called him out. We got on message boards and gave Stephen Colbert hell for it. So there was some tension there, but the interview was great. They made it through just fine. Anyways, let me know what you think. Leave a comment down below. Like, share, subscribe.